What's up, my dudes? I'm here playing some Rocket League. You know what it is, boys. So, first video I've ever made on this game, okay? Just a little first impressions. So, I've got about, maybe 10 hours into this game. Had a couple of my buddies on my MX Simulator team kind of get me into it. I always thought, the reason why I never really got into this game, I've been watching videos on YouTube and stuff on this game forever, but the real reason why I've never really gotten into it is just simply because I always thought it was really arcadey. You know what I mean? I always thought there wasn't a whole lot of skill to it. I don't know why I got that vibe of this game from the beginning, but as you guys know, if you know Rocket League, come to find out it's actually not really like that at all. You know what I'm saying? So that's what really kind of started to intrigue me about this game. The skill gap element and the separation element of it, you know, you can really, become something in the game, really get a lot better at the game. There's that replayability aspect to it, you know, that I didn't really understand from the start. First impressions of this game, okay, by the way, I'm just chilling on here on some, this is just standard training, just in here, free playing here. So, first thing I learned is there's going to be some people that just don't like this game. I mean, period. Just because a lot of people play this game, just because it's pretty popular, one of the most popular esports games, or whatever the case may be, doesn't necessarily mean this is your kind of game. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't necessarily mean that at all. I could definitely see where a lot of people get into this and not be too into it at all. You kind of gotta like this kind of a game to begin with, right? It's like you gotta like that sort of volleyball, hockey-esque type, I don't really know, that kind of a sport, back and forth, pong. You gotta kind of have a little bit of that competitive nature to you to really enjoy a game like this, I feel like. Like, if you're a first-person shooter only kind of person and that's the only kind of game you play or whatever, this may not be your kind of game, It's definitely a whole different sort of a game. But the thing I've learned is, by the way, I got this game for $10 on Steam. It was kind of crazy. I happened to catch it at a half-price special. I don't know how in the heck that happened, but normally it's like $20, I think, right now, right? So, anyways, I caught it for $10, so we got a steal, boys. Got us a pretty cool little space map right here, too. Definitely some Halo vibes going on. I'm pretty sure they probably had to call up 343 Industries. I was about to say Bungie, but that would have been a mistake. 343 Industries to get the rights to that, I would imagine, because that is like exact Halo replication. But yeah, so I was kind of surprised by how many maps are on this game. This definitely keeps the gameplay interesting. You've got all kinds of maps. You got one like an aquarium map under the water. You've got standard maps. You've got a map out on like a farmland, right? My kind of map, boy. Yeehaw. You got a little farmland map. You've got nighttime maps, and each map kind of has their own little cool thing. Like that right there, you could see when I scored, the little turret deals in the back kind of popping off. You've got all different kind of things. There's certain maps where when the ball hits the wall, it kind of makes like a certain color. So every map's got its own cool little variable. But like this game, just in general, being on like what you would call like a little remote car type thing, but it flies. There's so many other things this game could be and become more than just this right here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they have a lot of like for fun special lobby type things where you got the basketball or you're actually shooting it in a hoop. You've got, there is a plethora of other. I'm sure there's like race modes in this game where you're not even hitting a ball, you're just racing on a certain course or a certain track. Heck, that's the thing about it. This game has such a physics inertia feeling too, in so many different let me see how to explain this. So many different mechanics and maneuverabilities and different things you can do combined with the boost. You've got air roll. You've got all these other little, pro techniques they've come up with. You've got, obviously just sliding around, right? You've got that, kind of like a controlled slide. But it's nowhere, that's the biggest thing I've learned about this game. It's nowhere near as arcadey as I had originally thought. I thought the car wasn't really going to have a whole lot of a physics system to it and a, inertia system. Like, this game really has a, inertia to it, bro, and the ball itself has inertia to it. So that makes it to where you get a lot of interesting one-of-a-kind type plays. When you hit a ball in a certain angle, it's not always going to be exact. They've done a really good job with this game of making a very simple game idea and design, but also making it very, very complex in the way that it actually is played. The gameplay of it is actually very, very complex. You can get up high, hit ball, down, spike the ball, do all these other kind of things versus just keeping the ball on the ground. So that's probably the biggest thing I've learned about it is, how complex the gameplay really is in comparison to what it seemed like from the outside, for me personally, right? Like I say, that was about the biggest reason I never really got into this game, was just simply because I always thought it was just super easy, super, not a whole lot of, it was just really just kind of like a standard, hockey, but you're in a rocket car, vehicle, but it's hockey, right? I didn't really understand how advanced the game really gets at a certain level, and it's addictive. Anything competitive like that is going to be addictive. It feels good when you hit a shot in, or you hit a sick, cool shot. You get this whole other kind of side of really being able to hit one-of-a-kind shots and being able to fake people out and trick people, and with the inertia of it, you can do just all different plethoras of different types of movements and passing the ball and all this other kind of stuff that it really it's quite the more advanced game than I had originally anticipated it to be, right? So for me personally, that's what has been the biggest biggest whoa, but it's not, yeah, there's a lot of advanced techniques to it, and a lot of, when they get to the pro level of the game and you put 10,000 hours in it, of course you can make yourself look above and beyond and amazing compared to other people, but it's not like Super Simulator either, you know what I mean? Some people acting like this game is like Super Simulator, dog. You can get in here and play this game. Yeah, I'm not saying you can play with the pros of the game, but that's just like with anything. You can't even play Call of Duty. If you're a beginner at Call of Duty, you can't even run around a corner without getting blasted if you're playing with Call of Duty pros. But you wouldn't call Call of Duty a simulator. Understand what I'm saying? So it's kind of that same deal with Rocket League. It's still an arcade game at the core of it, but it does have a lot more advanced, things you can do with it, and so it really sort of opens up the doors, but it's still easy enough to get into. It's not such a, simulator, like a simulator type wall or barrier to entry, like what most simulators are, whether you're talking about a motocross simulator, car simulator. It doesn't really feel like it's quite, I said I put 10 hours into this game, and of course, and I've been playing with my buddies where it's been putting us with not beginner players, okay, so I've gotten a good look at, I'm not saying they're pro dudes, but I've been getting a look at some, solid dudes that know how to play the game, and I can score on them. It's not like I can't score the ball. Yeah, they dunk it on me, and they can do some cool tricks on me that I don't really know how to defend and stuff like that, but you can definitely see how it's possible to become good at this game. It's not such like a simulator breach of entry, barrier to entry, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's not like, oh my God, it's going to take you a month of gameplay time before you can ever even function in the game. It's not like that. Some people kind of put that vibe off to me at the beginning. Yeah, the pros of the pros are going to be amazing. Yeah, that's like with any game, though. You can take the most arcade of arcade games. Hell, freaking Fortnite. You can take a pro on Fortnite, and he will absolutely, make you look like you don't even know how to play a video game if you're a beginner at Fortnite. So it's the same deal. So I certainly wouldn't consider this game like a simulator, quote unquote, even though it does have simulator-esque inertia feelings and physics feelings to it, it still kind of has a bit of an arcadey, silly. I mean, you're boosting around in a rocket car, right? So it's kind of like an arcade simulator combination style type game, which is cool. I mean, it fits the game. It fits what the game's trying to be. It's not trying to be like a super realistic game, right? But it has realistic gameplay elements to it in a sense. Not even necessarily that they're quote-unquote realistic, but definitely skill-gappy, physics-y, type elements to the game. So, yeah, that's pretty much my first impressions with Rocket League. You got 1v1, 2v2, 3v3. I think they have a 4v4 now. So it's just a fun game. To me, I feel like this is one of those games you don't have to focus too hard. It's a fun game to just come chill play no matter what skill level you're at. That's what's cool about it. Yeah, you can take it super serious and get to the pro level or whatever, but there's also like just a for fun side of the game too. Really, it's got a chill environment. Yeah, people do play kind of serious here and there, but it's got a cool, chilled out. This is the kind of game I'd want to play when I've had about, 6 Cold and Rockies, put down, something like that. 6 cores put down, 6 deep. Like, you could still have a lot of fun in this game. Whereas, like, if you put 6 deep down and you go try to play a simulator, it's not going to be a good time. You know what I mean? That's kind of the difference with, or if you put 6 beers down and try to go play PUBG, it's probably not going to be that good of a time. But with Rocket League, it's a simple game, really. So you can still have fun with it even if you're just chilling, you know what I mean? So it's got a cool little element to the game like that. It's definitely something I've noticed with it. Definitely a fun game when you're not really wanting to focus too hard. You just want to game. You just want to have fun. It's got that to it, right? It's got that cool element to it. So either way, yeah, it's my first impressions on it. Got about 10, 15 hours into the game, so definitely really, really first impressions. I've had some of my buddies teach me a few things, so that's definitely, helped me out a little bit in the gameplay side of it. I'm sure if you started from absolutely nothing, nobody telling you how to do anything, it would be a little more tricky. But it's not like, oh my God, you can't score the ball. You know what I mean? You just kind of got to learn simple, volleyball, hockey, soccer type elements, especially when it's like 3v3, or 2v2. You got to realize when to stay back when your boy's up there so you can defend. You got to, realize to always try to hit the ball towards their goal, not your goal. Once you kind of learn these like simplistic, basic rule of thumb type things to the game, it becomes, quite a bit more simple. Wow, I just noticed this map right here in particular actually is a bit of a different map. I don't know if it's different size, but I know the boosts are in different areas. Because on most of the other maps I've been on, the one of the main boosts are like right here in the middle. So, yeah, the maps have like different where the boosts are positioned apparently. It's not just like every map's exactly the same, identical. So they got some cool stuff going on here for sure with talking about variation of the map. Then you got the whole, Steam Workshop, like what I'm talking about, where you got custom map. This is going to be one of those games that's probably going to live forever just because of the potential future possibilities of it and things like that. It definitely starts becoming a thing for sure. So, but yeah, just kind of one of those things, man. There's so many things you can do though, like so many different like special tricks and stuff. There's a lot of stuff you can make this little simple rocket car do in the game, right? So either way, just overall first impressions, if you have the impression of this game that it's super easy, it's just basic, it's simplistic, there's not a lot to it, it's just like a really arcadey game, it's just a simple soccer style game, you might want to look a little deeper into it because it is deeper than that, right? If nobody would have came to me and told me how deep the skill gap can get and, the level you can get in the game and stuff, I would have probably never bought this game. So it's just something to keep in mind. It's not as simple as it might seem from the outside, right? It's not as quote-unquote arcadey as it might seem from the outside or the gameplay you see. So just, this is one of those you don't really want to judge the book by the cover as much as some other games, right? But yeah, so either way, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.